Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Jo here at SportsGrid. It's time for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X. We've got an absolutely loaded slate out there on the ice, and hopefully you guys tailed some of those plays last night because we were cashing. Ovi unable to get the hat trick, but he did tie Wayne Gretzky's record with those 2 goals. Hopefully you took him for the 2+ goals as well as the first goal for the Washington Capitals, which we were able to get at plus 420. It was a good night on the ice. Let's continue flowing that into today. And yeah, it was a good night for the Calgary Flames, even though they didn't play. You are so right. The Minnesota Wild do look like they've checked out on the season, and Calgary has every opportunity, if they play right, to be able to sneak into the playoffs. So let's get it. Yeah, we got that money with Ovi last night. I'm so glad he showed up. Questions around if he will break that record tomorrow versus the Islanders. Does he want to break it off of home ice? We know that he did not want that empty netter. So if you've bet Ovi already to break the record on an empty netter, I'd be thinking twice about maybe looking at a different way to take that, as he refused to go out on the power play opportunity and refused to get that empty netter. So we'll see what happens. Richard, good morning to you as well. And you're welcome for the Red Wings. I'm glad you made some freaking money with me there, Timothy and Mo. Good morning to you too. So loaded slate today. We're going to fly through this as quickly as we can, you guys. I've only got the full hour here, so we have to get off at 1 o'clock Eastern. Remember, I am on the grid 3 to 6 Eastern tonight. Sorry, I have to convert all those times in my head. It's 1 to 4 my time, 3 to 6 Eastern. I will be on the grid with Scott Wetzel, not only talking today's hockey slate, but also going over the Final Four. You guys know I have predictions. Stay tuned for my Cup of Joe for that, as well as the full MLB slate and NBA. So tons to go over on In-Game Live today. So make sure you join me over there as we do jump into those games and live bet them as well. We're going to kick it off here with the New York Rangers taking on the New Jersey Devils. Now, the Rangers still fighting for a wild card spot here. They're coming in at plus 108 on the money line versus the New Jersey Devils, who are a minus 130 favorite. We've got a total in this one of 5.5, and the 5.5 is seeing the juice to the under at minus 118. Jonathan Quick is expected here for the New York Rangers, and while he allowed 5 goals in the last matchup versus the Devils, we look at his overall numbers versus the Devils in his career, going 6-7-2 in 15 games with a 2.73 goals against average and a save percentage of .904. I do think Jonathan Quick will come out and stand tall between the pipes. This is such a meaningful game here for the New York Rangers. Now, their power play has to get something done, because the power play as of late has basically been non-existent. They've been sleeping on that power play, not able to capitalize on mistakes by their opponents. So I'm looking for more out of them in this one. We've got solid numbers out of Jacob Markstrom, though, versus the Rangers. And we know Jacob Markstrom has been decent all season. At one point, he went super hot, and then he went kind of cold, but he's been decent overall. He's got a 2.24 goals against average and a .921 save percentage versus the Rangers in his career. Both of these teams rolling in with some confidence, winning their last couple. We got the Devils with the the Bruins on deck on Tuesday. They're sitting third in the Metro. 87 points in 76 games. Fourth in the Metro here for the Rangers, 79 points in 75 games. So they are sitting just behind the Montreal Canadiens that have 81 points. So they need to try to battle this one out to get that wild card spot from Montreal. Now, they did win the last meeting over the Devils, winning that 3-2. And we're seeing here the New Jersey Devils rolling in an interesting situation. They've won their last 2. They got the shootout win versus the Wild in their last game on Monday. It was a 3-2 win. That's normally not a strong suit for this Devils team. Off of overtime, this team has lost their last 6 games off an overtime game. So hard spot for them. I think the Rangers will come out with more ambition to get the win, play a harder game. Their backs are becoming up against the wall. So I'm going to take the Rangers. I know you don't always back teams with their backs up against the wall, but I like them in the spot. Panarin really has been playing so strong. You look at Panarin in the last 9 games, 6 goals, 7 assists. It's unbelievable what he's been able to do, but it's just not him. You got Trocheck and JT Miller. Both those players in the last 9 games have 9 points each. So I'm looking at a lot out of the Rangers. You can get them right now on that money line at plus 110. So we're actually seeing movement in favor, money coming in on the Devils. I like the Rangers. I'm going against that line movement, you guys. I would look at Panarin and Trocheck here on that top line together for their points parlay. You know you can't take Panarin for his point alone. If you want to look at him for the goal or the assists, so be it. But I'll just take Panarin and Trocheck for a point together, coming in at plus 188 on the top line and top power play. Now, I've got a lot of players I've got circled, a lot of line combos as well today. So I'm going to go over each of these. We will do the recap at the end of the show. Then I'll point out my favorite players. But I really will break down these players more so because we're on limited time during these games. So something to note, as I know you guys really like it. Igor Shesterkin starting for the Rangers today. Okay, it actually makes our bet with the Rangers a lot stronger here. Interesting to see the line movement is coming in on the Devils with Igor Shesterkin coming in. I do think Igor is the stronger of the 2 goaltenders, so I am happy to see that. I actually, with Igor coming in, Mo, might look at the New York Rangers puck line laying the 1.5 here and getting some great frickin' plus money because I do think they have every ability to pull off this win. And big win with Igor. So let's move on to the Florida Panthers taking on the Ottawa Senators. This should be a battle of the Tkachuk brothers, but I don't believe either Tkachuk brother will be hitting the ice today. I just want to have a quick look to make sure no goal props have come out for Brady Tkachuk since we have started this show and nothing is coming up. So I do not believe Brady Tkachuk will be on the ice. Now the Ottawa Senators are sitting at a plus 110 underdog at home and minus 132 here for the Florida Panthers. We do have a total of 5.5 minus 120 to the under. And I understand why this one is juiced to that under because you look at goaltending and you look at recency of both of these offenses and then injuries. And it's majorly concerning for both of these offenses how many goals they will be able to get in this matchup. Barkov will not be hitting the ice tonight for the Florida Panthers. We're also not seeing Ekblad as well as Matthew Tkachuk. So you've got some big holes here missing for the Florida Panthers. And then we know the Ottawa Senators without Brady Tkachuk, without former Panthers Nick Cousins, this team offensively takes a step back. Now, Jake Sanderson has been playing lights out for the Ottawa Senators. So definitely a bright spot. We're going to be circling him. But I do think this one we trust in goaltending. Bobrovsky versus Ullmark. And now Ullmark in his career versus the Florida Panthers, strong numbers. We're looking at a .930 save percentage and a 2.47 goals against average. And when we look at Bobrovsky versus the Ottawa Senators, fantastic numbers. He's got a 2.45 goals against average, a .906 save percentage. Now, when we look at him as well, or these teams as well, as what they've been doing as of late, the Panthers just haven't been able to get on the scoreboard. They've been locking down defensively, and so have the Ottawa Senators. Both of these teams have been doing a really solid job at locking down on that defensive side. The Panthers are averaging only 2 goals in their last 4. And when we look at the last 3 games here for the Ottawa Senators, averaging that 1.3 goals per game. They're coming off the win versus the Lightning. They beat them 2-1 at home on Thursday. They've got Columbus on Sunday and then Columbus on Tuesday. So they got the back-to-back, the first game at home, the second game out there on the road. This team sitting 4th in the Metro, 4th in the Atlantic with 86 points in 75 games. When we look at Ottawa, they are competing for that top wildcard spot with the Montreal Canadiens. They're sitting 5 points above Montreal. So I do think they'll end up getting this first wild card spot. They need to continue to play strong hockey, but Florida's a hard team to beat. I'm just going to roll with the under 5.5. I'll lay the juice to the under 5.5. We also have the Florida Panthers sitting third in the Atlantic, 92 points in 75 games. They're only 1 point behind Tampa for that second spot, 4 points behind the Leafs. They definitely want that second spot in the Atlantic. And then with the Battle of the Atlantic, they're both going to bring it. So look for the defensive battle in this one, whichever goaltender can stand on his head. I do think this is a 3-2 style win that could be decided in overtime. Now, for the Florida Panthers, I think this is all about the Sams. So you got Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett really stepping up with Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk off the ice. And I do think we're going to see a lot out of them. They're on the top line in the top power play. So parlaying Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart for a point is coming in at -108. Looking at those line mates that are on the top lines, or on the lines together as well as on the same power play, definitely is where you want to look when you're parlaying players for their points. I do think we look at the first period under 1.5 goals as well. And then I can't deny Jake Sanderson, what he's been able to do out there for the Ottawa Senators. He's been playing so hot. And I know you've got a lot of playmakers here that you could look at, but I think it's worth a shot on Sanderson for the anytime goal. He scored in the last 3 home games. We're getting him at +520. For an anytime goal for the Ottawa Senators. You could also look at him just for the point tonight. The point still holds value, you guys. The point coming in at +100. You look at him, he's on that top defensive line, and I do think he will be impactful for the Ottawa Senators in this matchup, even though it is a lower scoring game. Okay, seeing all of your comments coming in. Good morning, Kev. I am glad that you were able to get another win yesterday. Lisa, it's good to see you back. Well, afternoon here. Yeah, New York, afternoon. It is past noon. It's still 10 at my time. So, yeah, Ovi just needs one more, Patrick. Good morning to you, too. Well, I'm glad it is 80 and sunny there. It's definitely not that nice here, but it's going to be a good one. And Duke beats Houston. I got Duke beating Houston. Duke winning it all for me. Let's jump into the next game. You guys got Avs on the puck line versus the St. Louis Blues. Risky one with that one, but we could see it happening. Stay safe for sure. Not good to see flooding is happening where you're at. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Dallas Stars, you guys. We got the Pittsburgh Penguins rolling in here, playing with pride. We know this team is out of playoff contention. They're coming in at a +202 price here on the road versus the Dallas Stars team that's heated up at the right time. The Dallas Stars are -250, still one of the odds-on favorite to hoist the cup. Total of 6.5. Now -118 to the under, -104 to the over, which I find interesting because I do think the Pittsburgh Penguins can do enough to help us go over that total of 6.5. Tristan Jarry versus Jake Ottinger. We know who the better team is, right? But this could be a 5-2 win for the Dallas Stars. I'm counting on a couple goals out of the Pittsburgh Penguins to push us over that total. And we know Pittsburgh. It's been the same story all year long. If Pittsburgh's showing up, they're showing up straight out of the gate. So the first period over 1.5, the books have juiced. It's -148. But if we look at both teams to score in the first period, it's coming in at +150. And I don't think we're holding the Pittsburgh Penguins off the board. And we know the Dallas Stars. First night of a back-to-back, they got the Wild on deck tomorrow. Hopefully they can hold up their end of the bargain and get the win over the Wild tomorrow because I need it for Calgary. But I'm looking at this one for them to just come out, play a really solid game, roll into tomorrow's game, allow those defensive issues here where the Penguins score a couple goals in that first and then call it a day and really shut this one down and continue to light the lamp. So I'm looking at player props in this one. I'm looking at both teams to score in the first period, the over 6.5. So the last time these teams faced up, we did see the Dallas Stars win 7-1 back in November. Like I said, the Penguins still playing for pride here. First night of a back-to-back for them. They're at Chicago on Sunday and home versus Chicago on Tuesday. They're off that loss to the St. Louis Blues. Now, they were able to put up 4 goals versus the St. Louis Blues and push it to OT. So I do think here they can put up these goals on the Dallas Stars as well. Give me Sidney Crosby for the anytime goal at +200. He's still 3 goals away from 30 on the season, you guys. He's got 82 points, 27 goals, and 55 assists. I do think he hits 30 goals On the season, you know that's in his head. He's got that target. So give me Sid for the goal tonight at plus 200. Raquel and Rust have been playing great out there as well. So definitely other playmakers. I'm then going to look at Dallas, and I'm going to look at Rantanen for a couple points tonight. He's got 83 points on the season, 31 goals, 52 assists. I expect Rantanen to get 2 or more points in this matchup. 2+ points for Rantanen coming in at plus 230. Now, Granlund has been able to score in the last 3 games out here for the Dallas Stars. So if you're looking for that recency player who's playing hot right now, I would look there. You guys know I love looking at Wyatt Johnston. After Johnston last season, of what we saw in that push for the playoffs and in the playoffs for him, I really like what he brings to the table. On this season, he has 68 points, 31 goals, 37 assists. I expect him to hit 70 points. Could he get 2 points tonight? He absolutely could. Rantanen is the one I have circled, though. 77 points here for Jason Robinson, and Duchesne, 77 points. Rupe Hintz with 65. So lots of playmakers to play around with it. Again, I'll look at Sid for the goal for the Penguins and Rantanen for 2+ points for the Dallas Stars. Let's move on quickly to the Edmonton Oilers. Dallas second line keeps cashing for me at plus 425. Ducharme, Marchment, and Granlund. Yeah, that is a great line, Maddie. Are you just taking each of them for the point to come up with plus 425? Let us know there so everyone can jump in and tail that, because that is great if you just got 1 point on each of those players. The Stars, Montreal, the Stars, maybe Vegas, the boss, you can't go against Calgary tonight. They're playing for so much. Vegas is just right around 500 on that road record. Parlayed all 3 together. I absolutely love it, you guys. So I think Maddie JC is on to a winner here, taking those 3 on that second line, each for a point. You're going to get more value with those second line guys too. So something definitely to note, those second line guys, when parlayed at plus 425, straight money. So I do love where you're going there. The Edmonton Oilers versus the LA Kings is our next game on deck, you guys. The Edmonton Oilers, the money line keeps moving on this. Edmonton becoming a bigger dog as the day goes on. They're plus 142. So if you like Edmonton, wait, but I don't. I like the LA Kings in this one. So you got to get on this line before you lose the best of this number. Unbettable on the money line at minus 172. But that puck line, I tell you, I think this is a 4-1 win for the LA Kings. They're coming in laying 1.5 at plus 148. And I know Edmonton can really step up without Connor McDavid on the ice. But the playmaker that steps up is Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl going out of that last game after not looking great. You guys know we were riding high on Leon Draisaitl to have a big game. He went out. He didn't look good. Undisclosed what his injury is. And I think, while you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman, playmakers that need to step up, versus the LA Kings in LA, that's going to be too much to ask for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. So I think the LA Kings minus 1.5 on that puck line at plus 148 is the only way I can go with a side. Now we have a total of 5.5. This total is sitting at minus 110 to either side. I don't want to take the 5.5 to the under because I'm afraid of some weird situation where the Kings just keep scoring on Connor Pickard here tonight. Now, Connor Pickard is in because Skinner's still unwell. He took a stick to the back of the head. Still unsure exactly what is happening there with Skinner, but Pickard is playing way more games than he is used to playing out there or expected to play out there on the ice. So I do think we could have the situation where the Kings push this one to the over themselves. And Edmonton should look down defensively. Like, don't get me wrong. I do like Edmonton, but goaltending, another huge red flag here tonight. So I'm going to look at the Oilers team total to the under. I think if Edmonton scores, they score 2 at most. The under 2.5 goals here for the Edmonton Oilers at minus 118. So if you don't like that puck line 1.5 for the Kings, even though I think they cover it, you could look at the Edmonton Oilers team total under 2.5. I'll take the puck line. I'll take Oilers team total under 2.5 with a 4-1, 5-1 style win for the LA Kings. So that's where I'm going to go. Like I said, Evan Bouchard and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins need to step up here for the Oilers if they have any chance. I just don't think they do. So you look at Nugent-Hopkins, he's got 49 points. So 50 points is loading, 20 goals and 49 assists. Bouchard has 62 points, 13 goals and 49 assists. So both of them have big assist numbers hitting, the 50 assists for Bouchard and the 30 assists for Hopkins, but I wouldn't play anything for Edmonton. When I look at the LA Kings, this is where I want to play some of those players. I'm going to put a third of a unit on 3 players to hit milestones for their goals tonight. So 1/3 of a unit, one whole unit over the 3 guys. Kopitar for goal number 20, Fiala for goal number 30, and Byfield for goal number 20. Plus 270 for Byfield for that goal tonight. Fiala at plus 185 for his goal, and Kopitar at plus 330 for his goal. Now, his goal will be goal number 20, Byfield goal number 20, and Fiala goal number 30. So a third of the unit on each of them. If you just want to parlay them for their points, I do like that as well. And then you got Kempe, and no denying Kempe out there. Kempe has 63 points on the season, 33 goals, and 30 assists. Again, 4-1, 5-1 style win here for the LA Kings. Let's Kings Leon is out. Okay, let's look at the next game here. We got the Anaheim Ducks versus the Vancouver Canucks. This is a tricky one, right? Vancouver had hoped to be in playoff contention, and it's just not looking that way. Vancouver with 81 points, 3 points behind Calgary with 75 games played. So they both played the same amount of games. They would need a miracle to make the playoffs at this point. I really do think Calgary needs that miracle too. We've got to see the Wild just fall flat on their faces for the rest of this stretch into the playoffs. And Calgary needs to play their best hockey. Vancouver still mathematically not eliminated, or Utah. So definitely interesting here. The Ducks have been eliminated for a while. They have how many points? 74 and 75. So Ducks have been out of this battle of the Pacific. We've got Vancouver 5th in the Pacific, 8 points out of that postseason spot. So their defense has been conceding those goals, 14 goals over their last 3 losses. They got shut out by the Seattle Kraken, which is a huge chunk of those 14 goals, allowing 5 goals in that loss to the Kraken on Wednesday. And then we have the Ducks here. Defensive inconsistencies all season. We know we've got playmakers that have stepped up for the Ducks, Leo Carlson, Troy Terry, that have made, impactful games for the Ducks. But again, this is going to be a struggle. Now, Vancouver has got to be upset off of that loss. This is the first night of a back-to-back. So they've got Vegas on deck tomorrow. It's a brutal scheduling spot for Vancouver with any hopes to make the postseason. I'm not giving them a fighting chance tomorrow versus Vegas. I think Vegas shuts them down. But in this one versus the Ducks, I'm expecting them to get the win. The problem is the books are expecting them to get the win as well. At minus 184, we've ticked up over 11 points as the morning has gone on and money comes in. So at some point, this is going to be a play of the Ducks because of the number. At this point, I can't play the Ducks on the number, but I do think you just look at this one to be a player prop game, be an over game. I like the first period over 1.5 goals coming in at minus 126. Vancouver's got to be so frustrated off of that loss to the Seattle Kraken in a game they needed to win. They know they need to finish the season off strong. A couple of players that will be looking to hit some point props for both of these teams. You got Troy Terry for the Anaheim Ducks, goal number 20, loading, 19 goals and 33 assists. So I would look at him for that goal. We've got McTavish with points 50 loading. He's got 48 on the season. Leo Carlson has 40 points. Ryan Strome has 40 points. So I would look there at those 3 playmakers to get something done today. Now, Quinn Hughes, 70 points here for the Vancouver Canucks. I do think Quinn Hughes shows up big time. He has 16 goals and 54 assists. He scored the first goal in 3 of the last 5 for Vancouver. I do think Quinn Hughes comes out nice and strong. And Brock Besser coming out here for goal number 25 today. 24 goals, 22 assists, and 46 points. I would look at parlaying Quinn Hughes and Brock Besser for a point. Connor Garland has been strong as well. Then you got Jake DeBrusk and Elias Pettersson. So you definitely have playmakers here for Vancouver. Again, give me the over game. Give me Vancouver winning the first period over 1.5. And then depending on who you like you could take Vancouver and Quinn Hughes. Vancouver for the win, Quinn Hughes for the point. You're going to get plus money. So I do like that. I also like Vancouver for the win and Brock Besser for the goal. So you can play around with that, you guys, but I do think this is a Vancouver one. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the St. Louis Blues. This is going to be one heck of a game out there. We have the Colorado Avalanche, a -137 favorite. Keep driving up those numbers just like people did yesterday, and we were able to get the Red Wings at a better price because I am not stepping in front of the St. Louis Blues and Jordan Binnington right now. We got the St. Louis Blues at +114, and I am flirting with taking an alt puck line in this one. Jordan Binnington has been playing out of his mind as of late, and I do think the St. Louis Blues continue to roll hot. Until they don't, I'm not jumping in front of them. They won their last 11 games, overtime win versus the Pittsburgh Penguins on Thursday, 5-4. Now, they did beat the Colorado Avalanche back on March 29th, 2-1. Tight defensive battle. We've got Mackenzie Blackwood expected in net here for Colorado. Binnington's only allowed 1 goal in each of his last 2 versus the Avs. In both of those games, he faced 29 shots on goal. So it's not like the defense really stood tall in front of him. He still had 29 shots on his net in both of those, allowing 1 goal in each. I'm looking for Binnington to be able to come out and do that again. Now, Colorado's rolling in here, and there's no denying how strong this team is offensively. We know these playmakers. We know what they're able to do. They've won their last 2. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets on the road Thursday, 7-3. 2 games prior to that 7-3 win versus Columbus went to overtime, and this is game 3 on the road. I do think tired legs are coming to play. This team nicely 3rd in the Central with 98 points in 77 games. 4th in the Central here for the St. Louis Blues, 91 points in 77 games. They're in the wild card race in the West to stay in that first spot with then the Wild below them, and then Calgary sitting below them. So it does look like they will lock into that first wild card spot. They just need to keep playing elite hockey. The Avs are 7 points ahead of the Blues. So I don't think the Blues are going to catch the Avs, but I do think you look here at another defensive battle because of Binnington. I can't see Colorado scoring 3 goals in this game. Colorado's team total, I know it's scary. Under 2.5 goals is coming in at +138. I don't think they put 3 goals on him tonight. I'm looking for the Blues to play smart defensively out there. They allowed way too many goals to the Pittsburgh Penguins in that overtime loss in their overtime win in their last game. I'll take the Blues to stay hot. Braden Shan has been playing great hockey, 48 points, 17 goals, and 31 assists on the season. In the last 2 games at home for the St. Louis Blues versus the Avs, he's been able to net a goal. So I would look at Braden Shan here to come out nice and strong. We know Jake Neighbors has been playing great hockey. Robert Thomas Holloway and Kyrou as well would be your playmakers. I would be cautious with player points in this one because I do think the Blues either win this 3-2 or 4-2 because of that empty netter. So looking at the empty netter and our ability to take the St. Louis Blues alt puck line is where I want to go in this one. I feel like everyone is going to be rolling with the Colorado Avalanche. You guys know I love to be on the opposite side of what everyone else is doing. I know Colorado is strong, but I'm going to take the alt puck line now that I can get it in for the St. Louis Blues, laying 1.5 at +265. This team is just playing so hot, and they are going to make the postseason if they really lock down defensively on Colorado. And we're looking at them being able to make it. It's gonna be hard for them not to. They have to fall off a cliff, basically. You're going to take Gunsel Point Kucherov for the Lightning. Okay, I like where you're going, and the Kings 6-way parlay. Let us know what you're getting for that 6-way parlay for sure. Trevor Moore, I like too as well tonight. That's a great parlay. But looking at Nichushkin is loading for goal number 20 for the Avs, so definitely something to note. Goal number 20, Nathan McKinnon, we know how fire he has been on the season, 114 points. So Roth Colton, he really showed up to start. Then he went off with that injury. Remember, he was always getting us those power play points. Charlie Coyle stepped up big in that last game as well. Something to note, 1 goal and 2 assists in the last game versus Columbus. So 16 goals on the season, 11 assists, 27 points. I hope you guys have your coffee this morning. It's definitely a full slate for us to go over. Make sure you also join me on In-Game Live. I've got a same game parlay for the Ducks and Canucks game. It's coming in almost 10-1 to your money. So you want to get that. Actually, I'll just give it to you right now. Vancouver money line, Brock Besser point, Quinn Hughes point, Troy Terry point, McTavish point, plus 996. So jump on that again. Vancouver money line, Brock Besser point, Quinn Hughes point, Troy Terry point, McTavish point, plus 996. That's the Ducks versus Vancouver. The Philadelphia Flyers now taking on the Montreal Canadiens. The Montreal Canadiens are a minus 170 favorite here at home, plus 140 for the Philadelphia Flyers, total 5.5, minus 134 to the over. We got to take this one over, right? You look at the Montreal Canadiens and their ability. They've been scoring on that power play. Lane Hudson, absolute stud out there on the ice. The young rookie, I can't believe how hot he has been. I'm going to look at his power play point tonight. His power play point coming in at plus 230. 24 power play assists on the season. We look at Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield and their ability to score on that power play. We could get the power play assist here by Lane Hudson again. So I'll take him for the power play point, plus 230. I think Montreal comes hot out of the gate. I'll take Montreal first period at minus 105 on that puck line at plus 146. You guys know I'm all about trying to find some value. You look at the Flyers here, Ergen expected in goal. He's allowed 4 more goals in his last 3 starts. You guys, it hasn't been pretty over those 3 starts. He's got an 815 save percentage. That it's just terrible. Versus a Montreal team that's sitting 5th in the Atlantic, fighting for that wild card spot. 81 points in 75 games. They're in that 2nd spot right now. And the New York Rangers are right on their tail. So Montreal needs to pick up this win here. First night of a back-to-back. They have the Preds on deck tomorrow. So look for Montreal to look to get up to a fast start to start this game and then maybe lock down. Because of that, I really don't want to play the full game total, but I do think it goes over that 5.5 and probably like 3 goals out of Montreal in this first period. I would not be surprised. Now, if we're looking at anyone else here for Montreal other than Lane Hudson, I mentioned Nick Suzuki. Anytime goals coming in at plus 185. He had a goal and an assist in the last game versus the Bruins. And in Montreal's last 11 games, he's netted 9 goals. So he has been so strong. Oh, sorry, that's in the last 18 games. He's netted 9 goals. So basically half a goal a game. I think he's going to come out nice and strong in this one. And then Cole Caulfield plus 150. For the anytime goal. Now, Michkov here for the Flyers. We know that ever since John Tortorella was fired, he has come out and really shined for the Philadelphia Flyers. So if you're looking at Michkov, his point tonight is juicy at minus 130. His goal is plus 230, and he has 2+ points in the last 3. We rode him for 2+ points in 1 game, and I think it really did break that streak because we've seen 5-6 games since John Tortorella's being fired. He came out, got a couple points in those first couple, and then went quiet in the next, and then the last 3, he has been getting those points again on the board. So you could look at Michkov for 2+ points if you want. I'll just look at him for the goal. I think he's able to score on Montreal. Sam Montembeault in goal tonight. So the Winnipeg Jets, this is going to be an interesting one versus Utah. Can we see the Winnipeg Jets, Connor Hellebuck, get a shutout tonight? I think it could be in the making, you guys. I just want to look here if we've got any goalie confirmations, and we do in this one. We got Vermalka confirmed here for the Utah Hockey Club. Still not confirmation if we've got Connor Hellebuck or not. They've got the Blues on Monday. So will they start Eric Crombry? They could, because then the Stars on Thursday. I would start Eric Crombry. And if it's Eric Crombry, I'm not going for the shutout. But I do think the Jets start off hot in this game, win the first period. Give me the Jets laying a half a goal at plus 178 in the first period. They're coming in as a minus 114 favorite. Suspicious line, right? The Utah Hockey Club at minus 105, total of 5.5, minus 120 to the under 5.5. Now, Utah not mathematically eliminated, but sitting here chasing that wild card spot with 80 points in 76 games. So we've got Vancouver, Calgary, and Minnesota in front of them. Again, they're not mathematically eliminated, but in my mind, they are. The Jets, I think, can go over their 2.5 goals in this game. We know the Jets have been stepping up. That power play is elite. A 29.4% conversion on that power play, second best in the league. And now we've got a solid kill here at 81.1%. for the Utah Hockey Club, but they averaged 9.5 minutes per game in that box. That is so deadly here versus the Winnipeg Jets. So the Jets coming off that big win versus Vegas. You know, I always look at these scheduling spots with the Blues on deck. That's why I don't want the Jets full game here on the money line or on that puck line. They're sitting nice and comfortably first in the Central versus a 6 in the Central team that wants to play that spoiler game. Now, we're seeing Utah, and it's interesting to look at their schedule, you guys, because you got to look at those last home games as well. Utah's off the loss to the LA Kings 4-2. They've got the Kraken on Tuesday and the Preds on Thursday. Thursday's their last home game of the season. So this is a fine. There's 3 left, with this one being the third last at home. And then they've got 3 out there on the road. You guys know what I mean. They've got the Stars, Preds, and Blues out there to finish the season, which is just a brutal schedule. But I do think Jets start off hot. Give me the Jets in the puck line first, period, -0.5 at +178. I do think they probably go over that team total 2.5. It's -150 though. Could be a parlay piece. Over 3.5, it's a lot to ask, but you could see it. Now I'd look at the power play points. Kyle Connor for the power play goal coming in at, or sorry, just the power play point. You don't have to take power play goal at +200. Mark Scheifele at +280 and Josh Morrissey at +300. I definitely think all 3 of them have the ability to convert on that power play. Clayton Keller, he has the ability to convert on the power play for Utah, and that's where I would look at +260. Definitely worth a little bit of money on Clayton Keller. He's got 80 points on the season, 25 goals and 55 assists. Let's look at the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets are facing the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is going to be an interesting one out here. Columbus is a large dog at +150 on the money line. We've got -182. Actually, that's tomorrow's game. Columbus plays the Ottawa Senators tomorrow. I was like, they're not playing Ottawa. The Columbus Blue Jackets versus Toronto Maple Leafs, +146 here. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, Toronto coming in at -178. Total 6.5, -110 to either side of that 6.5. And right away, I'm just going to go straight over the total of 6.5. I'm expecting 4-3 style win that Columbus has every ability to pull off the win, but I'm not going to take a side. I do think Columbus +1.5 at -148 is too juicy right now, and I just want to make sure it didn't move. It's +130 or -168 now. Wow, money definitely has come in on that. When I was looking, it was -148. So it's jumped 20 points. I think this could be a great live betting situation because I'm expecting both teams to score. Perfect world here. Toronto comes out and scores first, and then we can jump in on the Columbus Blue Jackets +1.5 at better value, or a money line sprinkle. If I'm getting 3-1 to my money with a Columbus team that's sitting 5th in the Metro, still fighting for a wild card spot, absolutely, I will be signed up for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So they are 74 points with 77 games, 2 points behind the Rangers, but a game in hand, and then 4 points behind 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 4 points behind the Montreal Canadiens. So they're definitely fighting here to get things done. So live betting situation, if Toronto goes up first for Columbus, money line as well as puck line there. Again, I think it's a 4-3 win for one of these teams. Both teams to score in the first period at +144. And then let's look at these player props because I am looking at that higher scoring one. Mitch Marner has goal number 25 loading, and I'm not denying him. I do think Mitch Marner comes out here and definitely lights the lamp. His anytime goal coming in at +125. 93 points on the season. Mitch Marner definitely wants to finish this season nice and strong. I won't be shocked if he gets 2 points in this game today, you guys. Austin Matthews also has goal number 30 loading tonight. That's coming in at -110, though. I don't love the value we're getting on Austin Matthews for the goal, but you know that goal has every opportunity of cashing for us at -110. I guess we make other bets at -110, but 29 goals, 40 assists for 69 points. So the point, William Nylander, John Tavares, there's no denying what those two players are able to do, both with high points. Nylander has 80 points on the season, 70 points here for Tavares. But I'll focus on Mitch Marner for my main player here for Toronto. I do think he gets goal number 25. Plus 175, great value. Austin Matthews, I do think he gets goal 30, but at minus 110, it's not the value I really want. Let's turn to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm looking at Monahan here for point number 50. Now, he's got 17 goals, 32 assists, 49 points. The point tonight is minus 148, so too juicy for me. I do think he can get it via goal. I think he can get to 20 goals by the end of the season, you guys. I think the goal at plus 220 holds so much value. You also have Fantilli loading for goal number 25 tonight. So 24 goals, 23 assists, and 47 points. And then you've got a Bonjanner that's playing lights out. He scored a goal in 5 of the last 6 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So you can look at Monahan, Fantilli, and Bonjanner each for a point, or just take 2 of them, Monahan and Fantilli for a point, or Monahan and Bonjanner for a point. And I do think it is a great way to go in this matchup here. But my main bet would be Monahan, that goal at plus 220. Let's make some freaking money, Freddie. It's a good day to do so. Let us know, you guys, in the comments what you're liking out there on the ice today. Again, loaded slate. We'll get to that recap at the end. We got a whole bunch more to roll through here, and we've got under 20 minutes left. So let's turn at 1.5 speed, you guys, and get going. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Buffalo Sabres is our next matchup. Puck dropping at 7:09 Eastern. The Tampa Bay Lightning are coming in as a minus 215 favorite. The Buffalo Sabres eliminated and loving to play spoiler out there on the ice. They're a plus 176 underdog at home, and you guys know I freaking love the dogs. At this time of year, you got to look at the motivation of the dogs and the motivation of that favorite if they need the win and what they're playing for. So we got a total of 6.5. Minus 132 to the over 6.5. I won't be shocked if we get 9 goals in this game, you guys. Andre Vasilevsky versus James Reimer is your goaltending matchup. The last time these teams played, we flew over 9. We got double digits. We had the Tampa Bay Lightning winning 6-5 at home. The Buffalo Sabres and the Tampa Bay Lightning, I'm expecting that hot start out of both of these teams. We've seen Buffalo win their last 2, sitting 7th in the Atlantic, battling it out with Tampa, who is sitting 2nd in the Atlantic. Now, looking at how tight this race is in the Atlantic, they've got 93 points, so they're only 1 point ahead of Florida for that 2nd spot in the Atlantic, which gets you home ice. So they definitely will be coming out trying to get the win, but I do think players like Tage Thompson and Alex Tuch are going to be answering back in this. So give me the over 1.5 in the first period. It's too highly juiced at minus 152, but I do think both teams score. Both teams to score coming in at plus 148. Tage Thompson for goal number 40 tonight. You guys know how much I love him out there on the ice and what he's able to do. His goal number 40 is plus 180. Rasmus Dahlin has point number 60 loading tonight. He's got 59 points, 45 via the assist and 14 via the goal. So you want to take Tage and Dahlin for a point parlay together, and then add Alex Tuch. If you add Alex Tuch to Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin, that's coming in at plus 251. Tuch has point number 60 loading as well, and he scored at least 1 goal in the Sabres' last 4 games. So Tuch has been playing great out there for the Sabres, and I do think it doesn't stop tonight. Now, when we look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, it's hard to find value, right? You got to look at the power play points tonight. The kill here for the Buffalo Sabres is only 76.3% of their opponent's PKs, and I'm looking at a power play converting at 25.1% for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they've got a strong PK at 82.1, but I do think we're going to see Tampa convert on this team, so they'll convert on the Sabres. So looking at the power play points tonight, I did circle Braden Point for my power play point. He's coming in at plus 185. But you look at Kucherov, Hagel, and Jake Guentzel, and I do think all 4 of them have the ability to convert on that power play point. It's just Braden Point for me tonight. Yeah, I like Byfield for the point for sure. That's taking it to plus 1,071. A nice way to go with that one. I do think Byfield comes out nice and strong. Let's move on to another game that we could see an opponent breaking a losing streak, and it's the Boston Bruins. Lost their last 10. Now they take on the Carolina Hurricanes, who are really solidified in their playoff spot. The Carolina Hurricanes are almost, well, they're a 250 favorite, minus 255 here on the money line. The Boston Bruins are plus 205, and we got a total of 5.5. The 5.5 is minus 128 to the over. And if you don't want to jump on Boston, just take the over in this game. I'm expecting those goals to come out of the Boston Bruins and really pushing the Carolina Hurricanes, who are on the second night of back-to-back. The Red Wings, who needed the win last night, were able to get it. We saw Carolina give up those goals. And you know my troubles with Carolina on the road. Their inconsistencies drive me crazy out there on the road. They're second in the Metro. They're pretty much locked into that second spot with 96 points. So I think they just kind of, cruise through this game. Play the game, allow the goals to come by the Boston Bruins. And for a side, for me, it's either the Boston Bruins or nothing if I'm taking a side, because I just don't trust Carolina and their mindset in this game on a second night back-to-back. Now, if I'm trusting one of Carolina's players, I really like how Taylor Hall has been playing. And Taylor Hall here did play for Boston for a couple of seasons, 2021, 2023. So we've got a player here versus his former team. But you look at Taylor Hall, what team? He's like Tyler Toffoli. What team haven't they played for? So you kind of look that he's really bounced around the league a lot. But I would look at him for his point at minus 128 for Carolina tonight. But for me, it's all about the Bruins, and it's about Pasta, and it's about Morgan Geekie. Pasternak for a point and Geekie for a point coming in at plus 113. Pasta is loading for a point number 90 tonight, and I do think he could get 91 points on the night. So that's the 2+ points for Pasternak coming in at plus 220. 37 goals, 52 assists, and 89 points on the season. Morgan Geekie here has been really stepping up, even though Boston's been losing. 27 goals, 18 assists, and 45 points. So I do think you play around with them. Casey Middlestat, another strong look here. He's got 38 points on the season, and I do think he's going to finish out the rest of the season strong. But give me the Bruins first period puck line here. Actually, you can just take them first period money line. You don't even need the alt puck line. The alt puck line laying a half a goal is going to be like plus 300, because the money line in the first period is coming in at plus 158. So I'll take first period money line on Boston. I don't trust them for the full game as much as I do for that first period to come out strong out of the gate, and the over 5.5, because we know Carolina, they got to be frustrated with themselves as well. So Kempe, yeah, we're going to look at Kempe, Richard, for that goal for the LA Kings tonight for sure. You believe in the LA Kings puck line, the Stars puck line, Vegas puck line, and the Kraken puck line. Okay, Jamie, I wish you the best with that. I do think we can see the LA Kings on that puck line get the win. The Dallas Stars, absolutely. My concern maybe is with Vegas and the Kraken. So let's move on to the Seattle Kraken and the San Jose Sharks. Great segue there, Jamie, pushing us into this game. But looking at the matchup and where we're seeing those lines right now, if I can find it, we've already seen the Rangers and the Devils tip off there. You guys, the puck has dropped 0-0 with 11 minutes still in that first period. The Rangers are minus 106 underdog right now. So I do like where we're going with that with the Rangers. If they can hold off versus the Devils, it would be great to see. Okay, we are going to take the Kraken and the Sharks game. So the Sharks are a plus 142 dog here at home, minus 172 for the Kraken, who are coming off that big win. Total 6.5. Plus 100 to the over. Give me the over, you guys. I think this is a 4-3 style game. I'm going to be circling player props. The last time these teams played, the Kraken dominated the Sharks 6-2. But what are both of these teams playing for? Both of these teams are eliminated. Battle in the Pacific. I think you got players playing for their points. Joey Decord versus Georgia. Seattle off that win versus Vancouver 5-0. On Wednesday, that the Kings on Monday, Utah on Tuesday, then Vegas on Thursday. So a lot of harder opponents on deck. I do think pad those stats tonight here for these teams. Now the Sharks have lost their last 4. Edmonton, they played a tight game with 3-2. Edmonton dealing with those injuries. So they're versus Calgary on Monday, the Wild on Wednesday, then the Oilers again. Give me Brandon Montour, who let us down in the last game, for his point number 40 tonight for the Seattle Kraken. I'm also going to look at Jared McCann for a point, and then Chandler Stevenson. Chandler Stevenson has scored in 3 of the last 4 versus the Sharks. You can look at Chandler Stevenson for the goal as well tonight. but I'll parlay Montour, McCann, and Stevenson together for those points. And when I look here at the San Jose Sharks, Toffoli has point number 50 loading. I'll take Toffoli for the point tonight. Put it with Celebrini for a point. Celebrini has 54 points, so he'll hit 55. Toffoli will hit 50. I do think Toffoli gets that goal tonight. So if you just want to take him for the goal, but then you got Will Smith as well, and 37 points on the season. So that's just a Pat Stad game. Otherwise, I don't really like it. I think 4-3 win for either team. Coin flip, in my opinion, could go to overtime as these players just look to get their points on the board. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Calgary Flames. This is going to be the late night special, 10 p.m. Eastern. You guys know I'm going to be glued to my freaking TV for this one. So much on the line for the Calgary Flames. Now, what I don't like about Vegas here on the road is they're only at 500 on the road, and they conceded 3 goals in each of their last 4 games. Calgary, Dustin Wolf expected in net, 4th in the Pacific with 84 points in 75 games. The Wild lost again last night, so they have 89 points in 77 games. Calgary has 2 games in hand with on the Minnesota Wild, and they need this win tonight. Now, needing a win and getting a win is 2 totally different things. We know Vegas is the stronger team. Vegas is sitting first in the Pacific, though, with 98 points, 3 points ahead of the Kings, 5 up in front of the Oilers, and it's a first night of a back-to-back with Vancouver on deck in their next game. Now, the dangerous thing here for Calgary is Vegas is coming off a shutout loss to the Winnipeg Jets. They lost that one 4-0, so you know Vegas is going to come out with a vengeance in this one. Dustin Wolf has to play his best hockey. I'm going to look at this game to go over 5.5. I think this one goes to overtime. The overtime bet coming in at plus 330. Remember, Thomas Hertl still out of this lineup for Vegas as well. I'll take Kadri for point number 60 tonight for the Calgary Flames. He's got 59 points, 31 goals, and 28 assists. I'm also going to take Huberdeau for 2+ points. Huberdeau sitting here with 58 points. He can load for he's 2 points off of 60. So I do think Huberdeau is the way to go. And I do think he can get that goal tonight. 27 goals on the season. You look at Huberdeau, his workload at home has been enormous. 21 minutes he's averaging out there on the ice in the last 10 home games. You also look at him, he has a conversion rate for that point at 62%. On home ice, 45% out there on the road. He's been a stud at home. So give me Huberdeau for 2+ points in this one. You've got secondary playmakers like Uyghur, Coronado, Coleman, Morgan, Frost, Rasmus Anderson that I do think you can throw into the mix. But look for those points for Huberdeau. Look for the point for Kadri, and then give me the over and the overtime bet. I don't want to step on a side. I think this is a 4-3 overtime winner for one of these teams, and I'm just hoping it is Calgary for that wild card race, but I don't want to give you my bias there, you guys. So that is where we're going. Yeah, we're going to take Kempe for that goal for sure. Read that comment already. Okay, you guys, we're going to have to go into the recap really fast. Again, I will go through those player props as well as quickly as I can. We got 6 minutes to get out everything in these games. We're going to quickly check that score with the Rangers and the Devils. It's still scoreless with 9 minutes left in the first period. That total is now sitting at a 4.5, you guys, minus 156 to the over 4.5. I want nothing to do with that total. If that total does drop to a 3.5 though, and we're not having to lay like minus 150 juice, I will jump in on the over 3.5. As I do think we see 4 goals in this game, but at a 4.5 to the under right now, I don't love it. It's not giving me enough value. Give me the 3.5 when we get that live number. The Rangers, if you didn't jump in earlier, you can still jump in on the Rangers at minus 108. They need this win. The Florida Panthers and the Ottawa Senators, puck will be dropping at the top of the hour here. I'm going to roll with the under 5.5 in this game. It's minus 114. First period under 1.5 goals coming in at minus 110. Sam Reinhart and Sam Bennett for a point parlayed for Florida at minus 108. And then Jake Sanderson, I'm not denying how hot he's been for the Ottawa Senators. The defenseman out here for a goal at plus 520. I'm also going to look at him for the point at plus 100. Remember, tons of injuries. There is no Tkachuk brothers in this game for either side, and Barkov out of the lineup for Florida. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Dallas Stars, give me a high-scoring game here with the Penguins doing their share of the scoring, especially in that first period. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 150. Sidney Crosby for the goal at plus 200. The over 6.5, and then Rantanen for 2+ points here for the Dallas Stars at plus 230. The Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings, give me the Kings covering and winning on that puck line, laying 1.5 at plus 142. The Oilers team total under 2.5 goals at minus 118. Remember, no Connor McDavid, no Leon Draisaitl, and while Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Evan Bouchard need to step up, it's not going to be enough versus this Kings team. Kempe, Kopitar, Fiala, and Byfield, I do think, have every opportunity of getting the points on the board. I'm going to look at Kopitar, Fiala, and Byfield, each 1/3 of a unit on each for their milestone goals tonight. I think we hit 2 of the 3. So put those separately. Don't parlay them together. Kopitar, goal number 20, Fiala, goal number 30, and Byfield, goal number 20. But I do think Kempe gets on the board as well. The Anaheim Ducks and the Vancouver Canucks, give me the first period over 1.5 goals at minus 126. Vancouver is going to be eager after getting shut out by the Kraken to get on the scoreboard here at home. But this Ducks team can come out and score first as well. Troy Terry has goal number 20 loading tonight. I'll look at him for goal number 20. I think Vancouver gets the win. Brock Besser for the goal tonight, goal number 25. Same game parlay in this one, plus 996. Vancouver on the money line, Brock Besser for a point, Quinn Hughes for a point, Troy Terry for a point, and McTavish for the point, coming in at plus 996. So that is my same game parlay. Join me on In-Game Live for more plays like this. We're going to look at the Colorado Avalanche versus the St. Louis Blues. Look for Binghamton for his safe shots on goal. If it's over 28.5, sign me up all day long. I'm going to look at the Avs team total under 2.5 goals. That's coming in at plus 138. I know it's gross. Hold your breath, hold your nose, and just play what I'm thinking. If you want to tail, it's going to be a hard one. Give me the Blues to stay hot at plus 114. I do think Shan has been playing great. He's looked great versus the Avs too. He's been able to score a goal in the last 2 home games versus the Avs. So I'll look at him here. And then Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, you know the playmakers. I do think the Avs have the playmakers, but I am fading their team total, so I can't take props. The Flyers versus Montreal. Give me Montreal to start off hot. Montreal first period puck line at plus 146. Lane Hudson for the power play point at plus 230. 24 power play assists on the season. Nick Suzuki for a goal to continue to roll hot at plus 185. And Cole Caulfield at plus 150. Michkov on the other side for the Flyers has been able to get multi-points. His anytime point tonight, minus 130. His goal plus 230, I like better. The Winnipeg Jets and the Utah Hockey Club. Give me the Jets to start off hot. First period puck line minus 0.5 goal at plus 178. They do have the Vegas. They had Vegas. They got the shutout, and they have the Blues on Monday. They need to step up in the first period, then lock down. I'm cautious with their team total. It's 2.5. Too juice to the over, but I could see 3 goals. The power play point for Kyle Connor at plus 200, Mark Scheifele at plus 280, and Josh Morrissey at plus 300. One of them is scoring on the power play, I believe. And then I do think, and then one will get the point, the assist. But then Clayton Keller should be able to score on the power play tonight for Utah as well. Remember, Utah does not think they're eliminated as of yet. They mathematically aren't. The Columbus Blue Jackets and Toronto, this is a high-scoring game. Give me both teams to score in the first period. Plus 144. I hope Toronto goes up first. Then I want to come back in on Columbus plus 1.5, as well as a sprinkle on the money line if I'm getting 3-1, because I do think this is a 4-3 overtime game. Give me the overtime bet in this game. Give me Monahan for point number 50. Goal is at plus 220. I do think it comes by a goal. The point is minus 148. Fantilli for goal number 25. That's coming in at plus 320. I think he can get it. And Bon Jenner has been your hot player. Mitch Marner, I'm going to take for goal number 25 for Toronto. That's plus 175. Austin Matthews should get goal number 30, but it's too juiced for me. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Buffalo Sabres. I'm going to look at both teams to score in the first period at plus 148. I would look at the power play points for the Lightning tonight because it's too juiced. Otherwise, give me Braden Point for the power play point at plus 185. And then I'm going to look at Tage Thompson to get goal number 40 tonight at plus 180 for the Buffalo Sabres. But then I'm going to put a point parlay in for Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, and Alex Tuch, each all three of those guys for their point coming in at plus 251. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins. I do think the Boston Bruins have the opportunity to break their losing streak here. I'll take them in the first period to come out hot out of the gate. Pasternak and Geeky to be able to put their points on the board. So give me the Boston Bruins money line first period at plus 158. Pasta for point number 90 is too highly juiced, but if you put him for a point and Geeky for points coming in at plus 113, I've got that bet in, and I'm also going to bet him for 2+ points. That's more David Pasternak for 2+ points at plus 220. Taylor Hall on the other side for Carolina for the point tonight, minus 128. He did play for the Boston Bruins, so I think it's a nice angle. I like what we've seen out of him. The Seattle Kraken and the San Jose Sharks, give me a 4-3 style win. So the over 6.5 to Foley for point number 50 tonight. I do think it comes via a goal, so I'll take Toffoli and Celebrini for a point parlay together for plus money, and then Toffoli for the anytime goal. And then give me Brandon Montour to be able to get point number 40 on the board. Jared McCann's Chandler Stevenson. Look at them parlay together for their points. And last but not least, with seconds left on the clock, we got the Vegas Golden Knights and the Calgary Flames. You guys, I do think Calgary has the opportunity of winning if Huberdeau steps up. My favorite bet in this game is Huberdeau 2+ points for Calgary. He's been able to get on the scoreboard 62% of the games at home. He's playing right around 21 minutes of ice time per game in regulation. Give me Kadri for a point number 60 tonight as well. So looking at Huberdeau and Kadri parlayed for those points, great way to go. Give me the over 5.5 at minus 114, and a late night for these boys on the ice with the overtime bet at plus 330. Top players we're circling today is Jonathan Huberdeau is my favorite player out there on the ice tonight for 2+ points for the Calgary Flames. I'm then going to look at Pasta and Geeky. I think Pasta and Geeky for those points parlayed together, great way to go for the Boston Bruins. I then would look at Tage Thompson for goal number 40, Mitch Marner for goal number 25 from Toronto. And then Elaine Hudson for the power play point for the Montreal Canadiens. So those are my favorites out there, you guys. All the best tonight in all of your bets. Again, thank you so much for joining me here on the daily for Pocket with Joe. We've got another, not as loaded, but big slate tomorrow. Remember, I am on in-game live from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. I hope to see all of you over there. Let me know what you're liking in the Final Four tonight. You guys know where I'm going. If you don't, join me for a cup of Joe. Going to get that out right away. And then we're going to, I'm going to get into the green room, and I'm going to be on in-game live. So make sure you join. Scott and I will be talking not only hockey, but everything in the MLB, NBA slate, as well as the Final Four games tonight. We've got our in-game live same game parlays. We got overtime bets. We've got everything that you need over there. So it'll be a fun 3 hours. Tomorrow, we will be live from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern. So join me weekends, every weekend on the grid on in-game live. We will see you guys tomorrow here, noon Eastern, for another Pocket with Joe. Until then, stay hot. Let's make some freaking money, you guys. Hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for